This is the Berlin television tower. You're supposed to show it.
Ach so.
This is the Berlin television tower. It was finished in October in 1969 to send television and radio signals all over East Berlin. Probably other kinds of signals, and probably receiving other kinds of signals, and probably spying on everybody in East Berlin, and West Berlin, and West Germany, and France, and Spain, probably everywhere. These East Germans. Remember that moment where you saw it and you thought, geez, it looks like a spaceship? You were right. The East Berlin government told the architects to make it look like a Sputnik satellite. For me, the television tower is more a sign of Berlin than like the bear that's our mascot. Or the Brandenburg Gate. You're a filthy American hipster living off of his parents' trust fund. Since Berlin was a divided city, there's two of everything. So like this isn't the only television tower. There's another one over in Charlottenburg or Wilmersdorf or some other suburb that nobody ever goes to. But it's not as tall, and it's not even called the television tower, it's just called the broadcast signal tower. But it looks like a tiny version of the Eiffel Tower. I mean, what's worse than being French? Somebody acting like they're French. I'm just kidding. I'm sure there's lots of super nice, normal people in France. We've just never met them. That's the other television tower. Are you impressed? Me neither. We could film somewhere else. I live in what used to be East Berlin, and I have friends who grew up in East Germany, and they tell me this story about how when they were kids they would imagine that they'd go up in the television tower and for some reason it would tip over and they'd land in the West and be free. And it fascinated me, so I looked it up. The television tower back then used to be 365 meters tall. It was the biggest building in Germany. It still is actually the biggest building in Germany, but now it's 368 meters tall because now it belongs to Deutsche Telekom, and capitalists always have to prove that they can do everything better, even if it's less than 1% better. But anyway, I did the math. I looked where the wall used to go from Prenzlauer Berg through Mitte and over to Kreuzberg, and the 365 meters tall, and unfortunately, regardless of which direction the television tower would have tipped over, my friends would have been dead. They've got a restaurant on the second floor of the visitor terrace that rotates, makes one revolution every hour. You don't really notice it unless you're hungover, and then you really notice it. You just kind of see Berlin slipping by, like your life. There's also this thing that when the sun reflects off the beveled exterior of the television tower, it looks like it's making a cross. They call it the Pope's Revenge, because East Germany was a pile of godless heathens. I don't know what that is either. The high-speed elevator to the top takes about 40 seconds, and it costs like $15 as an adult if you buy it there, or $20 if you get a guaranteed time online, or $25 if you want to go up and eat in the restaurant and sit at a window. Plus, then you got to pay for your food and your drinks and your dessert and probably your date's food and drink and dessert. Television towers aren't cheap. The food's pretty decent up there, but they actually make it down on the ground and send it up in yet another elevator.
You can't do that. Sorry.
Did you see my apartment? It's the elevators back there. They open to the west. Everyone says the architects did that intentionally as like an homage to Western free Germany. I just think they open to the west. Maybe it was just the best place for the elevators to open. Sometimes they have these two different windows. On the left is how Berlin sees itself, and on the right is how the rest of the world sees Berlin. And the most important thing is you can drink up here. Tempelhof Airport. It's another episode.